Hey everybody, Gabe Spencer, another edition of Out of the Blind podcast. Welcome today on the show, man. We got somebody pretty interesting. We've got our guest Cody Duffer. Now let me tell you something about Cody. So I don't know, I ran into you. It's been maybe like not even quite a year, maybe a year.
Yeah,
something like that.
No.
He came through here. He sold some roofs here for a while. And him and I kind of really hit it off. He's a fly fisherman, and I'm a fly fisherman. And we kind of met through kind of the grapevine, I would say. And he's one of those people that I would call kind of like I always hang out with, somebody that's very interesting. And he just is full of nonsense and just oddball stories that make no sense, but in a way they do make sense, if that makes sense. So welcome to the show, man. You've been traveling.
I have been traveling.
I haven't seen you in a hot minute.
I have been traveling with work, fishing. I mean,
no, you've been traveling everywhere.
It seems like everything has been pulling me away from home for sure. I travel 5 days a week for work, and then
So let's tell us what is it exactly that you do now? You're a chicken handler? Chicken plucker?
If you
deal with chickens.
I deal with baby chickens. We deal with small batch deliveries of baby chickens from Mississippi to Michigan.
Small batch, which means
less than 50,000.
That's a small batch.
That's a small batch.
Is there large batch handlers?
There's some of our farms that get anywhere from 250,000 to 100,000. Yeah.
In one hit
every week.
Holy crap.
Oh, absolutely. It's crazy.
That's a lot of chickens, man.
There's one place in Ohio that has 27 chicken houses that we deliver to.
So your job is to roll up middle of the night, middle of the day?
Day, night, whatever.
Day or night?
Doesn't matter.
You roll up, they're already caught, or you catch them?
No, I delivered the chicks.
Oh, you deliver them?
The chicks.
The ones that these are like chicken seeds.
Yes, these are less than 48 hours old.
Wow.
When I put them on the trailer, they're
So you're delivering them?
Yes, absolutely.
And so I remember this now. It's all coming back to me. Because so you set off home base in Texas, I guess?
Yes, yeah.
And then you could go from here to where? Amish country?
Amish country. Michigan, Ohio, Indiana, Illinois.
Big truck.
Yep, absolutely.
And you pick the chickens up where?
Siloam Springs, Arkansas.
That's where they hatch the chickens.
That's where they hatch the chickens.
So they hatch the chickens in Siloam Springs, Arkansas.
Yes.
And then from there, everywhere.
Everywhere. I mean, we kind of have a set route of who's going to be where at what time. And different weeks we have different people, but for the main part, I know everybody that we deliver to.
Right.
Absolutely.
So you show up. Give me your day. You're a life in the day of Cody Duffer.
6 a.m. Monday. Leave, go to Siloam Springs, load with anywhere from 30 to 60,000. Leave there, head to right outside of St. Louis. Leave there, right outside of Indianapolis. Go up through. Go up to LaRue, Ohio. Deliver there, right outside of Fort Wayne. Then Goshen, Indiana.
So how many chickens are on your truck?
30 to 60 every week.
Huh?
30 to 60,000.
Oh, 30 to 60,000.
Yeah, every week.
And
yeah.
so these places, farms, they buy X amount.
Yeah. Okay. So like right now we're doing, like I work Monday and Tuesday, and that's our first route. And then I have Wednesday off, and then Thursday morning we leave, and then I take 70,000 to Laurel, Mississippi.
Holy crap.
Yeah. And that's it.
Do you ever have any that escape along the way?
You would be very shocked at how easily they can get out of the trays that they put them in. Sometimes we'll take them out and there'll be 100 of them in the floor. They just jump out of the tops.
Can they get out of the actual truck?
No. They can't get out of the truck. I have seen people spill them when we're delivering them.
Oh shit!
Oh, dude, you can't stop them.
It's just everywhere.
Well, we have.
It would be every 8-year-old's girl's dream.
We deliver with a lot of Amish folk, and I can't really talk about my clients, but I don't think they're going to listen to this. So you never know. If I do, if Paul calls me and was like, "Hey, dude, that podcast, man,
yeah,
we're gonna have a problem to talk about for sure." But I watched a kid one day, like an 8-year-old kid, dump over 1,000 on the ground. His dad was pretty upset.
Holy crap!
Like that Amish look like I'm fixing to pop you real good.
I don't know what I think the Amish punishments are worse.
That kid was very scared.
I bet. I don't know much about the Amish community, but I know that I used to live in Northeast Oklahoma, and we had Mennonites there, and it was, and I actually hunt with some Mennonite guys out there, and I really enjoy those people because I'm a foodie,
yeah.
right? And they have some badass stuff, man.
Paul is in his mid-70s, maybe 80s. He's old. He's really, really old. He gave us some what they call trail bologna. It's like summer sausage.
Trail bologna.
Trail bologna. It is phenomenal.
That sounds suspicious.
Yeah.
Say, would you like to have some trail bologna?
Exactly.
I don't know. Depends on how far down the trail I am.
It was pretty good, man. It was like really, really, really.
Sounds seductive.
Oh yeah,
Trail bologna.
He kind of has an odd look in his eyes, man. He never blinks, anyways. Very odd cat.
He doesn't blink, and he offers people trail bologna. It's getting worse. Have you had his trail bologna?
Oh, absolutely, dude. It's really good.
It sounds dirty.
When this virus stuff in March first started happening, and like I say, Paul's really old. So some of these kids we deliver to, they'll come out. They have cell phones, but they're Amish. You know, they're not supposed to. But
It's like
yeah, they're sinning just a little. But when this virus stuff all started, I was helping Paul one night, and the other guy that was with me were standing there, and we were talking about the virus. And Paul looks up at us and was like, "What are y'all talking about?" And I looked at the guy I was with. I was like, "I'm not telling him, dude. You can tell him if you want to, but I'm not gonna mess up Paul's day today. He's a super nice guy, but he has about 97 grandchildren that run around there. And but when we first started this, we'd take them into the barn.
The chickens.
The chickens. We'd help them get them in the barn and stuff. And we were standing there one day. We were talking to him, and this is one of the weirdest things that's ever happened to me while dealing with this. And I assume it is his grandchild of some sort of great-grandchild.
One of the childs.
One of the childs, for sure. And I'm watching this kid, and he's walking around, and he's picking chickens up one by one, like going around. And he does this 5 or 6 times, and me, Paul, and
the
Greg,
baby chickens.
The baby chickens, yeah. And Greg's sitting there, and they're talking, and I'm watching this kid, and he's walking around picking them up one by one. Picking them up, picking them up, picking them up.
What's he doing with them when he's picking each one of them up?
That's what I'm fixing to get to.
Oh, okay.
He's picking them up and looking at them, and then he puts it down. He does this 5 or 6, 7 times.
Like he's looking for a specific kind?
Yes, and he picks it. This is a small kid.
Like age, guess.
4 or 5.
Okay.
Maybe 6.
Boy or girl?
Boy.
Okay, so 4 or 5-year-old Amish boy, a boy.
Yes, a boy.
Okay.
And is picking these up, does it 5, 6, 7 times. And he picks one up, looks at it for about 2 seconds, crushes it in his hand.
Oh my God.
Like full, as hard as he could, shakes, and then just kind of dumps out of his hand and starts doing it again. Picking it up one by one.
Why did he not like that chicken?
Dude, I have no idea. I was like, hey, we got to go.
That's so sad.
We got to get out of here, man. This is
Did he get in trouble for that?
I don't think Paul ever saw him. I didn't say
He
anything.
hates certain types of chickens.
I don't know what he hates.
But they all look the same, right?
Oh, yeah, dude.
They're all yellow.
Oh, exactly the same, yeah.
And then he saw that one. It was the devil chicken, and he's like,
what he was looking
ain't going to be in my flock.
I don't know what he was looking for. I don't know. That freaked me out that day.
I wonder if it feels good, like when you squeeze that chicken like that.
I don't know, man. I didn't ask, and I don't really want to know, man.
Popping chickens.
He
bared down on it as much as a 4 or 5-year-old could.
And crushed it in his hand.
He gave it all he could.
Dropped it back on the ground, picked up another one, and kept on doing it.
Just smoked the chicken.
Smoked the chicken, for sure. 100%. Terrified me.
Well, that's wild. And so, I mean, that's got to be an interesting deal to roll up and just see, for somebody like me to go along on something like that, just to see, A, the process, but B, that many chickens in one spot.
I'll tell you this. We deliver to it's a community of Amish people. So like each family does something else. And Joe is the Amish guy in this particular situation. And they have a telephone pole in the middle of this community. It's about, 7, 8 houses with the farms and everything. They got pretty close. Yeah. There's a phone on that telephone pole. And if you call that phone at 3 o'clock in the morning, it will not stop ringing. Somebody will answer that phone and be like, hey, dude, tell Joe I'll be there in 30 minutes. I'm like, yes, sir.
Like it's just outside.
It's out on a telephone pole in a box. Yeah.
That's their phone for the house, for the community.
Dude, they have cell phones. They can say whatever. Like they drive buggies everywhere, but they have a brand new skid steer sitting outside, or they mow with a brand new Skag lawnmower. So, I mean, it's kind of like...
Yeah, they live in a gray area.
Yeah, it's a very odd kind of deal.
So you just got back from, you sent me all kinds of pictures. You showed me a very interesting picture today, which I'm going to dive into in a second. It's actually a video of a plane crash.
Yes, absolutely.
But you just went, like, all of a sudden, I'm messing around on Instagram, and I see you in Alaska.
Yeah.
And I guess you went up there and smacked them on the fly rod, didn't you?
Man, we had a fantastic time. My buddy works at a lodge up there, and he called me on a Thursday about a month ago and said, hey, what are you doing? And I was like, man, I'm at work as always. Like, what's going on? He was like, you want to come to Alaska? I was like, yeah, but what are the logistics of this? He said, if you can get here, All you got to do is pay for your airfare. If you'll come up here, I'll take care of the rest. I said, okay, let me make a phone call.
Yeah.
Called my boss, took a 5-minute conversation, called him back 10 minutes later and was like, hey, I'm there. Absolutely. It was a trip of a lifetime. I've never experienced anything like that. It's, people talk about how good fishing can be.
Yeah.
You're standing in the river, the fish are running in your legs. There's so many. You can just walk around.
That's
and kick
wild,
'em.
dude.
It is insane. I could not believe it. The only thing that I was kind of worried about was the airplane ride, which I guess we'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah.
And bears.
Oh, yeah. I'm out, dude.
I'm
definitely afraid of bears. And I haven't been, I've encountered a handful in the wild, but definitely not a grizzly. I actually encountered one grizzly bear in the wild, but I was in a car. Didn't count. I don't think counts.
I've had an illegitimate fear of bears ever since I was a child because of that. I don't know the name of the movie, but it has Anthony Hopkins in it where they're running from the bears.
I don't think I've seen that.
I don't know. It's an old movie. My mom had it on VHS, and I watched it when I was a kid.
And that's what scared you?
I've had a fear of bears since I was a kid. Well, I never thought that I'd ever have to worry about it as an adult until I went there. And we fished on the big boat. We deep sea fished also. For
Yeah,
halibut
saw that. Yeah.
And anything
like
that.
What are you using for bait? You're just dropping dead bait?
You know how we eat salmon? I cherish salmon as a food. The first few salmon we caught, they gut them and cut them up in pieces.
Really?
I was like, what are y'all doing? They're like, oh, that's bait, dude. We use those as bait. These are big, nice coho salmon that they just cut into little pieces that we hook on the hook and drop at the bottom.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
so you just drop that, how deep? 300 feet?
3 to 5.
300 to 500 feet deep?
Yeah.
Do they bite pretty hard? They hit it hard?
Dude.
They smack it?
I caught a lingcod, which looks like a dragon.
I saw that. That was cool.
It hit the bottom, and it hits the bottom. You reel your slack up. Before I could get 3 turns, it was already on, and I could feel it. You watch the rod, and I could already feel it. So I reeled it.
They're
up.
about as big as this table, right?
That one I caught was I think it was about 30 inches, 32 inches. It wasn't that big, but their slot limit on a lingcod is 30 to 35.
No, on the halibut.
Dude, halibut. The biggest one we caught was around 100. The biggest one they ever caught at that lodge was 466.
Shit.
Yeah, it's large.
Did they shoot them before they brought them in the boat?
No, not the ones we did. They just bring them up and club them.
Because I've heard some of them, they shoot them like a 410.
Oh, yeah. I would assume some of the big ones that are 300 or 400 pounds, they have to bring up and shoot them in the head to get even. I mean, they're strong.
Yeah.
When we were taking pictures with them, trying to hold them by the tail and their gills. And I mean, even after you can't hold them.
Really?
They're strong enough. And I'm not a really strong guy, but I mean, I couldn't hold it still. So I couldn't imagine one that weighs 500 pounds, 400 pounds. They're just, whatever happens, happens. Caught some pretty good halibut, decent halibut, lingcod. Cole actually caught what they call a yellow eye, and it's like a ginormous orange bass. It looks beautiful. I caught a stingray that was about 5 foot, 6 foot wide. That was pretty gnarly.
A stingray?
A stingray.
I didn't realize there were stingrays up in that cold water.
Well, it might not be a stingray, but it looks like a stingray. I don't know what to call it. Very large creature.
And was it freaky looking?
Oh, dude. It was like, first off.
You're like, what in the hell is that?
First off, we started catching a bunch of littler and smaller stuff, and they're like, dude, if it doesn't bend over and touch the water, don't mess with it. Don't even mess with it.
What do you do? Just let it go? Or let it?
Yeah. Well, this is the rod. They were like not trying to catch smaller fish, so we're just waiting and waiting. And this rod finally bends over and touches the water. So I'm like, okay. So I started reeling. It took me 30, 40 minutes to get this bitch to the top. And it's like reeling up a door from the bottom of the ocean, first off. It took forever. I was so wore out. But as we were coming up, it tangled up into another rod and then got the line wrapped around the motors and the trim tabs on the back of the boat. So it's all tangled up. We get it to the top, and we're trying to cut it loose and everything. But it was like a...
you didn't get a picture of it?
No, I didn't take a picture of it.
What the hell?
I know, dude.
Did they tell you what it was called?
No. It was like looked like exactly like a stingray, but it was like an orangey white color.
Huh.
Yeah, very
Big.
odd looking. Big, probably 5 foot, 6 foot across. Big creature.
I don't like those. I don't like stingrays. I've caught some big stingrays down at the coast, like Galveston, when I'm red fishing, like dropping for bull reds in October. I don't like them. They freak me out. I don't like them. I've tried to eat them. Don't like that, and I find them worthless.
They told me, because I asked them, like, can we eat them? They're like, no, they never really messed with them, I guess. But a lot of things, that's what they're telling me. There's so many different things you can catch up there. From when you drop down, you never know what you're going to catch. Like, you're trying to catch a halibut to eat, but you'll never know. Like, there's so many different things you can catch and mess with.
Did you get some badass seafood when you're up there?
Man.
Did you eat some crab or some of those, like, spotted shrimp?
Oh no, I didn't. See, this is the deal about eating up there. Is like I wasn't technically a guest, but there's a woman that works in the lodge. They call her Mama Tina, and she cooks every meal. It's a one woman,
Mama Tina.
Mama Tina, and she cooks every meal.
She a native woman or she
No,
just American? Like
American woman. She comes up there with the
Mama
season
Tina
also.
comes up and she's like an executive chef.
Well, I'm telling you, I think we were walking, moving, like it was hard. I mean, hard fishing, going up in the mountains and fishing those rivers every day, and I gained weight. I think just eating her food.
Mama Tina.
The first night we were there, she made what they call halibut cakes. It's like a salmon cake.
Not a sweet. It's just like almost like a salmon patty,
It's
but
a patty that's probably 2 inches tall. That
out of
she makes
halibut.
halibut and crab.
Oh my god,
Dude, I'm telling you. And she,
dude, I would beat that thing like it owes me money.
we were. I got friendly with her, and we were talking about it. She gave me a sack full of these.
Like friendly?
Not like that kind of friendly.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
we're close. You know, she's cool.
Right.
And she gave me a sack full of these. So the rest of the trip, everywhere.
Did you bring that back?
Oh no, those didn't even make it to the airport, dog.
Damn.
Dude, I'm telling you. So the rest of the trip, I carried around a water jug, all my fly fishing stuff, and a bag of halibut cakes everywhere we went.
Dude, I'm gonna have to Google that. Halibut cakes.
They were amazing.
You know the recipe's got to be online somewhere.
I don't know.
It's crab meat, halibut meat.
Yeah.
What else? If you had to guess,
dude.
is it breaded?
Yes.
So they probably bread it and then probably like a crab cake kind of, but they add halibut in there as like a
Absolutely.
filler.
That's how
Probably because crab is more expensive than halibut. Maybe I don't know.
Man.
I know I can buy halibut down here at the Fresh.
I've walked in there before and seen a whole halibut in the freezer.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. I will say this: everything that she cooks, I mean, because they have to fly it in, is super fresh. Like we had ribeyes one night, and she's in there cutting them.
Really?
At the slab, cutting her own ribeyes. Like it was. The first morning we went out on the big boat. I'm a bigger guy, and she made a whole fresh pan of cinnamon rolls, fresh handmade cinnamon rolls,
dude.
and then bacon, eggs, hash browns. I mean, a huge meal. So I go in there, make my plate, I'm sit down, I'm eating. I look down the table where all the guides and the captains are, and they're all looking at me. I'm like, "What's up?" And they're like, "You're fixing to get sick. You're fixing to get really sick."
Thanks,
I'm like,
Mama
"Oh no, dude, I ain't worried about it." I'm talking about one or two cinnamon rolls, big ginormous plate. They're all eating little piles of food, just little bit of food, nothing crazy. And I took 2 Dramamine, ate all that stuff, felt absolutely terrible for the first 3 or 4 hours, and I did not manage to.
Was it rough seas or just a lot of swells or?
Man, when we first went out, it wasn't that bad, but as the day it got pretty rough. And we're in a 32-foot center console, but it's a cab boat. But I mean, it's a big boat still, but like.
Yeah, I saw pictures of it.
Oh man, it was pretty rough. That ride back in was absolutely.
So you did
terrible.
that a couple days.
Yeah,
and then you went fly fishing a few days.
Well, Pelican, the town that we're at the very end of town, the whole town's on stilts over the water on a boardwalk. So. At the very end of the boardwalk, there's a river that comes out of the mountains, or a creek size. It's not huge, but the salmon, the chum salmon, the pink salmon. I mean, there's just so many. We'd fish there after dinner sometimes because it still stays live.
And you were catching those on a fly rod.
Oh yes. Absolutely.
Was it a pretty good fight?
It's pretty impressive, honestly.
Like what weight fly rod?
We fished with 7 8s and 1 9.
Yeah.
And it was still like, I mean, they're taking drag.
Really?
They're taking drag.
Because they don't really. I mean. Are they eating it? Are they eating the fly, or is it more like?
They're eating it, but you have to hit them right in the nose. You can't.
Really?
They're not.
They don't like come after it.
No.
It just perfect cast.
Yeah, the water's
They
so
eat it.
clear, and you're seeing them. So you got to cast right in front of their face and drift it. I mean, it's basically got to hit their face.
Yeah.
For them to eat it.
Yeah.
You will snag a few, which isn't fun, but you'll think they hit it, and then it'll just run over their back, but you have to hit them right in the nose.
Really?
Pretty close. It was a little different. We fish there, I mean, every day, really, just because we could go down there after dinner. And it's right there. It's 150 yards from where we're staying at.
Yeah.
And then we took a little boat, which about an hour boat ride and a 16-foot lund all around the peninsula into another inlet. And that's where we saw the bears at.
Oh, that's where you saw the grizzlies at.
Yeah. Well, this river that runs out from the end of the inlet that comes in is kind of smaller. And there's so many fish trying to get into it, they can't. So they're out.
There's that many?
Dude, I'm telling it's ridiculous. Like cloud, like you're standing, that water's crystal clear and it's rock flats, and you're standing there looking, and it looks like clouds are moving in the water.
It's all those like red looking salmon. Or all kinds.
These are chum and pink salmon, so they're like a darker green, and they have the spots.
Oh yeah, I know which one it is. Those are cool. I've never seen anything like it. Honestly, really?
Never seen anything like it. Well, we pulled up at first, and it's a river that goes up into the woods, and on the right side of the river is a big open field. So we were going to go up and fish the river. We didn't think twice about it. So we start walking up, and we start seeing bear shit and footprints.
Big footprints.
And dead fish all over the side of the
and
river.
you start like, oh.
And before, I'll backtrack just a little bit. I told Steve is the owner of the lodge, and I was like, he was telling us about all this stuff. I'd feel a lot better with a gun if you had one. He said, I'll give you a gun. I'll give you a gun if you need one, no problem. Well, he gave Zach, the guy we're with, the guy that works there, he gave him the gun, and I felt a lot more comfortable with it, so Tweeter gave it to me. But
Tweeter?
Yeah, that's what his name is Zach, but everybody calls him Tweeter.
Okay.
That's his nickname. His name's Zach. But this gun, it looked like it'd been sitting in a puddle for 6 months. All right. It's a Ruger 44 mag with a buck knife sheath, electrical tape to it.
Nice.
Yeah, perfect, dude.
Probably killed a few things.
Yeah, best gun I've ever had. Feeling like I had to protect my life with it for sure.
And they give you a rusty ass gun.
The bullets
Good
had
luck.
patinaed.
Oh god.
The brass had patina. I took one out. Yeah, it's patinaed a little bit. So we're walking up, and we're seeing the bear shit and the paws and the dead fish, and I'm like, oh, here we go. And it's probably 300 yards until the trees on this woods on this side. And we get up there, and I'll have the pictures I'll show you, but there's a bear behind of about 100 yards in front of us on a rock fishing where we're fishing at. So they get the rods out, they start fishing. Within 30 seconds, they both have a fish. I mean, it's that fast. And they got the fish up. I took a picture with them holding the fish and then the bear behind them. Awesome picture.
Dang.
But we're down on an embankment, and that embankment's probably 2 foot above us. We're down on the rocks by the river, and we step up to go, get back and walk back either which way, and there's a bear probably 40 or 50 yards behind us that we never saw, never heard. 3 of us never saw, never heard it, just standing there looking at us like. And I've never had that kind of.
You kind of shit a little bit.
Oh yeah, just a little bit. Like I've never had to worry. Like I've never had to realistically worry about a grizzly bear. But when you see one and you're stealing fish out of the river that he eats at every day, and it's like,
what's up?
Well, what's up, dog? What's going on?
Yeah,
I ain't never seen this. But
I think you took the wrong turn.
Yeah, y'all are lost. But I was close enough to see its facial, like its features of its face. Like you can see its eyes, its nose. Like it's close enough to be real. And at that point, we're probably at 150.
Did it look aggressive?
No, I mean, it didn't look aggressive, but they all look aggressive when they're that big and that close to you. And
It was a full-size freaking big-time brown bear.
It wasn't one of those 1,500-pound bear like a big brown bear, but it was a good one. It was good enough size. I don't think it was like one of those.
Like Kodiak type.
Yeah, it wasn't that big, but it was big enough it could probably have us for
I think
dinner.
any of them could really mess you up.
Oh, my gosh. We're 150 yards probably at least from the boat.
Yeah.
And there's no way we're getting to the boat. There's no way.
Yeah. Did those guys ever say that anybody's ever been attacked by one, or?
No. But or they say it didn't tell us. But they act like it's such a normal thing.
It is. I'm sure they see them.
The people, they come up in town. They've got pictures of them on the boardwalk in town. Like they come close to people, but they've never had to worry about it or never told me about anything like that. But they did tell us that if we do shoot one, to make sure that it's close. Like it's gonna be a problem if you have to shoot one.
Like legally?
Yes, legally. Like what the process you're gonna have to go through after killing one is gonna.
It's not good.
You better make sure your life is in danger.
Yeah.
If you're gonna shoot one.
I've heard them say that like they have to like physically touch you. I'm out. I'm killing it. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? I'm not going that far.
I would realistically think about it before I was in that situation, but after being that close to one, I don't care if it gets that close.
Yeah, I mean, the elk hunts that I've been on, I knock on wood, I haven't had any encounters, but if I see one, I'm not gonna just shoot the bear. But if he's coming towards me, I'm probably gonna first try to scare him. If that doesn't work, I'm probably gonna take a pop shot near him. If that doesn't work, I'm dropping him. I'm sorry. I'm gonna start buying tags up there when I go elk hunting just because of that fact. But they freak me out.
That was, I think, the second day we were there. The third day we were there, we were down at the river after dinner in town, the one that's right down the end of the boardwalk.
Right.
And we're standing there fishing. It's me and another guy. And I mean, dude, you're so occupied with catching fish because you don't stop catching fish. Like it's almost every other
What are you doing? Are you keeping them or are you letting them go?
No. They're coming up and dying, so they're starting to decay. Like I'll show you.
Oh yeah, you showed me that. Yeah.
On the whites on the.
So
stomach.
You can't even eat them.
No, you can't. We just catch them, let them go. But we were standing there fishing, and I looked back down farther towards the coast, like towards the ocean, and I see a bear. So I freak out, drop the rod. Hey, Cole, we got to go. So we run back up to the boardwalk, and we get up there, and I look, and it's 2 baby bears.
Oh, shit.
Yes. So like,
not good.
But in my mind, it was like, bear, get out of there. So we got up there. I took a video of these bears. They're 2 baby bears, but we never saw the mama bear. They were probably 50 yards from us, 60 yards from us. And they were just down there by the river, playing in the water, right there at the edge of the water, right down from us. And we never saw the mama bear or anything. And that was like,
that's the ones that'll get you.
Yeah, that was the ones. And
they don't like that. And
I've never, like I said, never been in a situation where you're worried about something that could physically harm you,
right,
where we live, and my standpoint of something like that. But then it's like they're so fast. Like I've never been snuck up on like that.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah,
man.
to never see anything.
So it was just an all fishing trip. So you did take a float plane into some other fishing areas?
No, we took a float plane from Juneau to Pelican, and then everything from there is a boat, man. If you don't have a boat, you can't go anywhere.
Really? So the fly fishing, the stuff you caught on a fly rod was all stuff you couldn't necessarily keep, I guess, because they were all.
Yeah, I mean,
really?
We didn't. I mean,
no grayling or anything like that.
No grailing, anything like that.
I got a buddy of mine that's a guide up there. And he sends me pictures, a lot of steelhead and stuff like that.
See, we never got into that, and I don't know if that's
awesome.
just a different part. Like we're on the southern coast.
Ryan Finney, he's a guide down in the Keys, my tarpon guide, and then he guides up there. Yeah. If you guys ever look for a tarpon guide or a guide up there, make sure I think it's Ryan Finney. You can look him on Instagram. Good buddy of mine. But dude, it's awesome. Like he shows me huge pictures of these giant steel. He's always tries to get me to go.
Some of the fish we were catching, I mean, they're good fish, but they're they're coming into a spot like they're dying. So they got some of them, their guts are hanging out. It's kind of it's kind of gnarly.
How do they even keep going?
They look like zombie fish, dude. Well, they're when they come up into the freshwater, they change. Like their snout will change and they grow these teeth, and they're killing each other too as they're doing this. So they're ripping each other apart and they're decaying at the same time. So you'll pick up fish that are like, I don't even know how you're still doing this, man. Like they're pieces of them almost. And
how wild is that?
It's crazy.
Mother Nature, man.
Mother Nature for sure.
Weird. I wonder what the purpose of that is. Like, there's got to be a reason.
I don't really understand it, man. They're so the ocean of freshwater fish are so complicated.
Yeah.
Or to me, I haven't read up on it.
But like they can switch from the saltwater to the freshwater really quick.
They change color. As
soon as they hit it.
I don't know about as soon as they hit it, but in a short amount of time, they're changing colors. Their snouts are changing.
Like they turns to a different fish.
Yes, absolutely.
That's so cool, man.
It is.
In Alaska, man, it's got all sorts of crazy critters that live there, man. Like everything's a badass, really. The people are all badasses. The fish are all bad. The bears are. I mean, everything.
That was also
land of badass is what Alaska is.
Absolutely. You know me, dude. I could talk to anybody, and I will try to talk to anybody.
Yeah.
The native people up there don't want to have anything to do with you.
Really?
Oh my God. No, not at all.
Really?
Not at all.
I wonder why.
There was a couple of them that one of the guys at the lodge introduced me to that were really nice, but most of them won't even. They'll wave at you, won't talk to you. Nothing. They don't want to know.
Stuff's pretty expensive up there, I guess.
To buy land and houses, no, but to have everything like normal things you would need to live every day, like.
I heard a gallon of milk's insane.
Oh my gosh, dude! A 6-pack of beer, like Coors Light cans, 12 ounces, $20.85.
Holy!
Can of Copenhagen costs you $1,600, or not? Well, $1,600, $16.
$16 for a can.
A can of Copenhagen Silver Top.
Wow. We'll have to start bootlegging that stuff.
And I was asking Steve, the man that owns the lodge up there, like land, they measure it at sea level. So if you buy 10 acres, you're buying 10 acres at sea level. So if you buy it on the side of a mountain, you get the elevation with it, so you're getting a lot more land for your money.
Really?
But the houses are cheaper if they're already built, but if you're building something, to get things there is so expensive. It's just like,
see, I figured that would make everything more expensive, like make the houses more expensive if it costs so much to build them.
The houses up there are just shacks. There's not any really,
like I heard they don't even, like I've seen some shows where like it's not even, they have like outdoor like bathrooms, like outhouses kind of.
All the water, all the drinking water, and all the water that they use in this town comes out of a lake up north of where they're at, out of a mountain, off the side of a mountain, and they have a filtration system that runs.
So it really is like the last frontier.
Oh my gosh!
Still,
there's no cops, there's no firefighters, there's no hospital. Like it's the people.
You're on your own.
Absolutely. If anything happens, and that was one of the.
That's cool. I mean, I hope it stays that way in a way.
It's a very it's an eerie feeling knowing that if anything happens to you,
Cell phone service?
no, absolutely not.
None.
The lodge had Wi-Fi and the library had Wi-Fi. That was the only way. Like if I could FaceTime call somebody, I guess. But I mean,
Yeah.
you're done. Everybody runs a radio, walkie-talkies.
Really?
Yeah, it's awesome to feel that way.
Yeah.
As a outdoorsman, I guess, to feel that. But as a person, to know like if anything happens to you,
You're done, buddy.
done, dude. You're done, absolutely. And being out there in the ocean, man. And so one of the first things I tell you when you get on the boat, Coast Guard, Channel 16, call them. Something happens.
Yeah. So they got I'm sure there's a Coast Guard station.
I don't know.
Probably within reach.
They have to. It has to be close, but in a plane, it's really not that far as you think. But the islands are there's so many different things as you go out, like islands and little towns. But I don't see there's no way they can get to you that fast. If something bad happens, like I mean, to get a helicopter in there and get to you,
it's not happening quick.
No, not gonna happen.
And then the plane that you showed me when you walked in the studio here that the plane you were on crashed after you left. You showed me the video of them. Then they filmed it inside the plane. They were filming the landing, and they in a gust of wind, right? And it clipped a tree, and there it was done.
It wasn't the exact plane I was in, but the guy went up there to see my buddy. He guides up there in the summertime at the lodge, the fishing lodge. And then in September, he goes up to another lodge in northwestern Alaska and does moose. Yeah. So he left from Pelican, went to Juneau, flew the big plane from Juneau to Anchorage, and then got on a little plane. And I don't know how far they made it to how far it exactly is to where the lodge is, but they were coming into land, and a gust of wind blew them right into the trees and crashed their plane, man. It was
it totaled that plane.
Oh, absolutely. And this was a man.
It's done.
Yeah, this is a man that was trying to reassure me. He's like, dude, they never crashed. Don't worry about it. Just come up here. And I was telling him, I don't want to fly on a little plane. And then his plane crashes 2 weeks
Was that
later.
It wasn't a float plane. That was just a regular plane.
Yeah, it was a regular plane. The float plane's pretty gnarly.
Was it gnarly? Was it crazy? I've always wanted to fly on a float plane.
Dude, they have to take off at such an angle and land at such an angle that, for the pontoons to lay flat and not be that bad, I guess. Yeah. That you're literally looking up. So if there's something in front of you, there's no way you're not going to hit it. If you can't see it. And especially if I can't see it in the back, the pilot definitely can't see it. Because, you're coming at such an angle.
Really?
And we're sitting there, we're looking up, and I'm freaking out. I've got this 3-point seatbelt on, and I'm really scared. Like, I'm honestly was terrified of flying in this little plane.
High pucker factor.
Oh my gosh, dude! And on the big planes, you have turbulence, like you can feel it a little bit. This thing flying around, and that's the guy when we got in the plane told us, put your seatbelt on. It's gonna be kind of rough, Yeah. We're flying around the mountains, the air changes. So we get up in there, and it moves. It's not like it just moves a little bit. Oh, it's rough. No, this.
It's all over the sky.
Oh my gosh, jerking around.
So it's kind of like a roller coaster a little bit.
Yes, you get that sinking feeling in your stomach about every 15 seconds.
Oh yeah, I'd probably be. I mean, I could do it. I've always wanted. My buddy Andrew Delatorre, he flies all over the world. I'm trying to get him on the podcast. He's one of those real interesting people because he flies all over the world. I think I don't know for some big wig, but he just got his certification to be for float plane. Yeah, and so I saw him. Doing that. I want to talk to him about that.
It is a very odd feeling to land on water that fast because you don't realize how fast you're going in the air.
Yeah.
When you come down in that water and you're at that angle,
then you realize it.
You're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, we're booking.
Oh, we're fixing to stop. And you get down on it's pretty.
It's pretty loud, isn't it?
Oh, dude, it's super loud in there. It's a lot louder than I thought it was going to be. Yeah. But when you hit that water, that clapping sound when you get up against a boat, it's like it's just echoing through that plane. You're like, oh. We're done.
This is it.
This is it.
That's how we end.
I'm glad I died here. Perfect. Yeah. Other than that, the planes and the bears, probably one of the best trips I've ever been on, for sure. Absolutely. Yeah.
So when's your next fly fishing adventure? You got anything coming? I noticed you went to the White River earlier this year.
I got a lot of things coming up. Man.
Smacked them up there. I went and smacked them. Really smacked them up there on the White River.
It's crazy.
It was insane. I was catching almost 100 fish a day on that White River in Arkansas. And that was wild.
The first time I ever went up there, I never realized exactly how good it was going to be because nobody here talk about fly fishing in Arkansas.
No, you would never think.
Absolutely
of all the
not.
places. I was like, it makes me throw rocks at some of that stuff in Colorado.
Absolutely. It's an amazing experience, and it's so cheap to go up there, and it's close to the house, and they got good fish. It's a great time. Yeah. The second week in October,
kinds of them in there.
Oh yeah, they have rainbow, brown, cutthroat, brook, and now they just released tiger trout.
Really? I don't know what that is. I'm interested in it though.
It's a maybe 2 months ago. It's a tiger trout. They released tiger trout in the river.
Really?
So they have the 5 big species of trout, I guess.
That's cool.
Yeah, so you have
No,
like
it was
10 to catch
awesome.
them.
I mean, I went up there and I thought it was, such a big body. It was for a body of water. It was for fly fishing. It's big. It's different. And so
Yes.
I just had my duck boat and I fly fished off that, just drifted out of that. And I'm telling you, we whacked, but it was in, they had the caddis hatch that was happening.
Yeah.
And it was insane. I didn't realize what was actually going on. Like I saw those bugs and I was like, what is this? But that was the caddis. And we would just drive up the river and you'd see those trout popping. And we would stop right there and throw. I mean, I caught probably a 6-pound brown. Pretty good one.
It's very odd up there because they have the bug hatches at the same time, but then they also might have a shad kill out of the lake because the water gets so cold
yeah.
they can't live. So they've got shad coming through the dam, so you could fish bait fish patterns with dry flies at the same time. It's crazy. Like I've never experienced.
There's some monster brown trout in there.
Oh my gosh,
monsters,
huge.
So are you gonna duck hunt any this season? Are you?
Dude, I'm so caught up with fishing, and you know how I feel about.
I know you're you're one of the buddies that I have that isn't humongous into duck hunting, but
Zach, the guy that does the lodge.
Tweeter.
I call him Tweeter.
Right.
He also guides for Tornado Country Outfitters. They do the cranes, the ducks, and the
oh cool.
Geese. I don't know nothing about birds, but I will go out there and do cranes this year. But that'll probably be the extent of my foul.
Right. I've never hunted cranes. I've always wanted to.
Dude,
I heard it's awesome. I heard they eat really good.
Apparently, it's the best tasting bird there is.
That's what they say. I've never got a chance to.
I've seen the videos
wrap my
and
lips
stuff.
around it.
Tweeter keeps on telling me, he's like, dude, you can do this and do that until you get on a good snow geese hunt. Like you've never experienced anything.
Dude, this snow goose hunting, man, is it's wild. I've had a couple really good snow goose hunts, and it's impressive, especially in conservation season where there's no limit.
I've never done it. He was showing me the videos. You lay down in the decoys.
Yeah.
So you're in the decoys, and they're calling them in, and he said they'll almost land on top of you.
They will land on you,
and then you have to.
Like they will land so close that you can reach out and grab one, and I've seen it done.
I told him I'd make time for a crane hunt this year, but I'm going to Miami the second weekend of October for peacock bass. I'm gonna knock out my. I need to get down to Austin for the year's over and do my. I want to catch a Rio Grande cichlid. Is what it is. Cichlid, whatever they call them. Those little bitty fish. I want to knock that one out.
Yeah.
Cozumel in February. Arkansas again in April. I really want to catch a tarpon this next year, man.
Oh, dude, Ryan Finney, you got to call him.
That is at the top of my list.
If you call him, he will put you on one.
I need to do that.
You need to call him. He is the man.
That I'm going to do it. I just don't know where. I want to go to the Keys.
Big Pine Key, Ryan Finney. It's Phinney.
I might be able to catch a tarpon in October when we go up there for the peacock bass, but it's going to be a small one, a 2-footer, 3-footer.
No, it don't count.
Right, it doesn't count.
No, you need 150 pounder.
Yeah,
like it's insane. I dream of it. Like I'm a humongous duck hunter, dude. Like big time. I would honestly, and this is going to freak people out, but I would probably put down my shotgun, and if I could just live in the Keys and chase tarpon during tarpon season, that's probably what I would do.
Everybody that I ever talked to that has caught one of size says that it is unlike any other thing they've ever done.
There's nothing like it. There's nothing like it. That creature is unbelievable.
Tweeter says the same thing. He was like, dude, it would be really hard decision, but I might set it down to be a fly fishing guide permanently if something would happen.
I would. I think if I ever disappear and no one can find me, that's the first place to look. I will be in the Keys.
Y'all go to Port Mansfield and fish, right?
Yep.
Zach's brother lives up the coast from Rockport, the next town up, and he fishes for redfish and does all that stuff and has pretty good success with it.
Yeah.
But he was trying to tell us about the tarpon that come in to the Texas coast.
Yeah.
It's kind of like.
But they're off. They're not on the flats like what you would see. I've heard that there are a few down in some of those deeper channels in the flats, down along south of Port Mansfield in the lower Laguna Madre. But I have personally never, because I'll freak out if I see one. Yeah. But they catch them just right off of the, I guess right off the beach a little bit. I think they're migrating there. They don't get on the flats. I think one of the reasons they get on those flats there in the Keys is, they can cut across really easy. And it's just a shortcut, from the Atlantic into the Gulf. And you'll see those big giant strings of tarpon coming through. And I think instead of going all the way around the bottom of the key, they'll cut through those little cuts, and then it puts them on the flats where you can put a fly on them, dude, and it's unreal.
That's definitely going to be a next early summer thing for sure. And I want to go I'm definitely going back to Alaska next year at some point. But I've been contemplating trying to put together a trip to the Amazon. Like that would be the trip for me. I think would be my bucket list trip. And I've finally everything's come together to do it. It'll be expensive, but I think it'd be worth it for sure to get down there just to do it one time. But the guy I was talking to about it said if you'll do it once, you'll do it every year.
Now, what do you chase a peacock bass?
Peacock and anything will bite. He said that's one thing he said about down there is you want to go after peacock bass, but if you throw a large enough clouser minnow, there's no telling what you'll catch. Piranha, those what do you say? They're it's like a long snouted catfish. He said those are pretty wild. You catch.
There's
those
some weird stuff down there too.
Oh my gosh.
We don't. That's one thing that's weird. Like this part of the world, we don't have anything weird.
We don't have anything odd. It's pretty
gar. That's probably the oddest thing that we have, like alligator gar, which that's my plan on a fly rod.
And I asked him I've seen it done.
But the world record right now is it's only like 80 some pounds.
I've seen people. I actually watched a guy do it one night. We were bow fishing, and they were coming up on the lots, and he took a little piece of nylon rope and frayed it out and put it on the end of a leader on a fly rod and threw it out and wrapped it across there. Got him up.
Oh, they'll smack it.
Yeah, but it was.
I want to get one that's about 150 pounds.
Yeah, that would be nice.
I got them, put them on the 12 weight and get them.
That would be sweet.
Well, dude, I appreciate you coming on here.
Absolutely,
dude. Anytime, man. Definitely don't be a stranger around here.
Yeah.
Throw a big shout out to Back Down South, one of our sponsors here. If you guys go check them out in Lindale, I mean, Michael Sims really well.
Absolutely.
Super good guy. Have you been to the new store?
I've been in the new store. It's
sweet,
amazing.
It's like a little mini Cabela's.
Yes, it is. I was very impressed with what he put together.
All their stuff is killer. You can check them on. I think it's backdownsouthclothing.com. It's Out of the Blind 15. Isn't that right, Nick? Out of the Blind 15 is a discount code. Make sure you check them out. Appreciate you guys watching. Tune in next week. I've got some cool guests coming up. I've got some actual big time names of some people that are coming in, and if you guys know anybody out there that would make a good guest on this show, man, hit me up on Instagram, Facebook. Make sure to follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all the platforms. Check us out on YouTube. You can kind of get more of a virtual interactive, I would say, there. On YouTube, you can see that there, or you can just tune in on Facebook Live. We're always always streaming on here. So I want to thank our production manager, Nick. He's always in the background here, making things pop, making it happen. And if there's any discrepancies in these, like with video or sound, it's all his fault. So I'm just going to blame him now. But thanks for watching another episode of Out of the Blind in the books. Thanks, Cody.
Thanks, man, for having me.
You bet, man. See you guys on the next one. Except for you tapping on that damn mic.
Dude, I kept on.
He's going clink, 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 clink.